Okay, hello mga students. So, we are back with another discussion on bonds payable. Sa video lecture na ito, pag-uusapan po natin, paano kung yung bond issuance may kasamang accrued interest and that interest may be considered, no? Of course, definitely the interest will be considered in the computation. Yun nga lang po, it depends on the treatment, no? Unfortunately, we can't have everything on this video lecture. Pero definitely, kapag may accrual of interest, kailangang i-consider yon. So mamaya, we'll try to check on this, kung paano pa yung ibang scenarios, kahit na hindi po ito kasama sa ating illustration. We will also discuss, paano kung yung bond year is not equal, no? Hindi nagtutugma doon sa reporting period. And we are to ask to prepare the financial statements, magkano ba ang amortized cost ng iyong bonds payable. Okay? We will also be discussing the serial bonds and also the retirement of bonds. Okay, so yan po yung mga itatackle po natin sa video lecture na ito. Okay, now, let's talk about accrued interest on bonds issue. And consider po natin itong problem na ito, you were to issue 1,000 bonds of 1,000 face value. So, kada isang bond certificate ay nagkakahalaga ng 1,000. It is dated January 1, 2024. Pero nabenta mo ng March 1, 2024 at 112 plus accrued interest. Now, sa mga ganitong pangyayari, class, so, pag binenta mo yan, pag inisyu mo ang bonds mo, kung kanino man, we need to consider in the proceeds, okay, the accrued interest. And the accrued interest definitely will be based on the stated interest rate. Kung saan sa problem natin, it will be at 15% semi-annually on June 30 and December 31. Okay, on March 1, when the bonds are issued, okay, how long has it been since January 1? So, January, February, 2 months na. So, supposedly, nag-a-accrue ka na po dito ng interest for 2 months. So, ano gagawin mo? 1 million, kasi 1,000 bonds at 1,000 pesos, times 15%, di ba? But this is for what? This is for annual. Okay? Annual itong 15%. Kung semi-annually, edi 7%. Pero pwede man manggawin 1 million times 15% times 2 over 12. Okay? Edi ang sagot mo dyan is meron kang interest from January to February na 25,000. Eto, no? Nakukuha ba? Kung 15% ka sa isang taon, edi 150,000 yan based on 1 million divided by 12. Magkano yon? Meron kang 12,500. Since 2 months, edi 25,000. Okay, anong journal entry mo? Matatanggap mo ay 112% ng 1 million and that is 1,120,000 plus etong 25,000 na accrued interest from January to February. Therefore, ang proceeds na matatanggap mo when you issue that bonds ay 1,145,000. Can you follow? So, yan po Siyempre, i-credit natin yung bonds payable at 1 million. Premium on bonds payable mo is 120 kasi 112 in issue. Okay? You have your interest payable, 25,000. Okay? Sir, bakit ako merong interest payable? Kasi po, 2 buwan na nag-accrue ito. It's as if ang sinabi natin, sige, bebenta ko sa'yo on March 1, pero you are still entitled to the January, February interest, kaya interest payable. Although kasama yun sa babayaran. Okay? Parang sinabi mo, dito sa ang naging kwento nito, babayaran mo ako ng interest payable, pero later on, ibabalik ko ito sa'yo. Okay? Nakukuha ba? So, from the point of view of the investor, Debit ka ng investment in debt securities, debit ka ng interest receivable para doon sa 25,000. Okay, then credit to cash, 1,145,000. Okay? So, ganun po siya, no? Minsan, makikita natin sa mga problems, no? The bonds are issued for given na yung amount, inclusive already of the accrued interest. Kung ano man yung amount na yon, tapos included na yung accrued interest, tatanggalin natin doon para ma-identify natin magkano yung carrying amount ng bonds payable. Kung sakali man na ganon yung pagkaka-construct ng problem, included na sa amount na given yung accrued interest. Okay? Tignan po ninyo. On June 30, yung bayaran ng interest, interest. Debit ka ng interest expense, pero this is only good for March, April, May, June. 4 na buwan. Hindi mo interest expense ang January, February. Okay? Pero, i-debit mo dito yung interest payable. Kasi ibabayad mo yan kasama nung 4 months. Therefore, i-credit mo yung cash na 75,000. From the point of view of the investor, the debit siya ng cash, i-credit niya yung interest income for 5 months, credit din ang interest receivable na 25,000. So, ganun lamang po, class, yung computation kapag meron tayong accrual ng interest na kasama sa amount na in-issue. Okay? Now, how about this one? Bond year not reporting, no? Not reporting. Bond year does not coincide with the reporting period. Anong ibig nito sabihin? Let's take for instance this problem. Palitan natin, gawin natin itong 2020. Sige, okay, as is na ito. Para hindi na tayo mag-edit ng ating mga illustrations dito. So, assume a 1 million. Ito, assume a 1 million, 12% bonds were sold for 917,039. The issuer incurred transaction cost of 20,000 and the yield on the net proceeds is computed at 15%. Now, ito, after considering na yung ating bond issue cost. If the bonds are dated March 1, 2022 and pay interest semi-annually every February 28 and August 31, paano po iyon? And if the issuer uses calendar year as its reporting period, so paano yung mga subsequent journal entries natin? Now, take note that ito yung ating bond issue price. Okay? The proceeds ay 917,039. Pero na-incur ka ng 20,000 definitely from a financial liability holder. Okay? Yung issuer ng financial liability, ibabawas natin ito. So, 917,039 minus 20,000. Ang bagong carrying amount mo or carrying value ay 897,39. Kukuha ba? Class, after this, yung discount mo on the bonds payable will be the difference between 1 million and 897,39, which is, eto po, 82,961. Okay. If you are to present your amortization, schedule of amortization, tapos we have to follow February 28 and August 31, magiging ganito yung itsura ng ating amortization schedule. Okay? Kasi February 28 and August 31 yung interest payments, di ba? Ang interest payment mo ay nakabase sa 6%, tama ba? Kasi yun yung stated. Sa bonds, meron tayong bagong term sa stated or nominal amount or nominal interest. We also have the coupon rate. Okay, class. 6% times 1 million, that is 60,000. Okay, hinati natin kasi semi-annual yung 12%. Tapos yung 15% hinati din natin, kaya 7.5 based on the carrying amount, yung amortized cost. Ito ang gagamitin natin sa paggawa ng amortization schedule, yung naibawas na natin yung bond issue cost. Okay? So, meron tayong amortization ng discount for this amount every semi-annual. Okay, every 6 months. Okay? So, tingnan po ninyo. On March 1, 2022, okay, debit ka ng cash. Natanggap mo yung 917,039. Debit ka ng discount on bonds payable. Okay, 82,961. Tama ba? Okay? And credit ka ng discount on bonds payable. Sorry Etong 82,961 kanina is 1 million versus this one. Okay, yung original issue price. Ngayon, pag binawas mo ito, no, na 20,000, pag kinompare natin yung 1 million at saka dito, mababago. Siyempre, ang discount on bonds payable mo, magiging, magkano yon? Magiging 102,961. Okay, correct ko lang yung sarili ko sa sinabi ko kanina na ito is the difference between 1 million and 897,000. Okay, hindi ko napansin. Okay? Now, syempre, pag kinonsider natin yung bond issue cost, i-credit mo yung cash, naglabas ka ng pera. Dahil dito, meron tayong discount on bonds payable. Debit natin, discount on bonds payable. So, ang effect nito sa discount ay dadagdagan. Okay, so liliit yung ating present value. No? So, habang palit ng palit yung present value, palayo ng palayo sa ating face amount, palaki ng palaki yung ating yield. Okay? So, kaya nga dito, no, 897.39 ang naka-reflect. Sa point of view ni investor, ganito lang siya, debit, investment, credit, cash. Tapos kung sakali man na siya ang nagbayad, no, ito palaging kung sakali na siya yung nagbayad ng cash para sa bond issue cost. Either or tayo dito, pero kung sakali, ganito yung entry niya. Okay, but in this case, wala dapat siyang entry kasi yung bond issue cost ay binayaran ni issuer. Okay? Ayan. So, paki-take note nun ha, baka may malito lang. On August 1, journal entry mo para dito, debit ka ng interest expense at this amount, credit ka ng cash for 60,000, credit ka ng discount on bonds payable para sa ganitong amount. Okay. Ngayon, sumunod na entry mo, February, for this amount. Kaya lang, tandaan po natin na on December 31, we need to prepare an adjusting entry kasi gagawa tayo ng financial statement. Kulang. Kasi ito August Ilan buwan ang pagitan? September, October, November, December. So meron kang 4 na buwan na kailangang i-accrue. Okay? Etong February, journal entry mo para sa buwan, para sa 6 na buwan. Kasama yung 4 months ng 2022 at 2 months itong 2023. So what we can do is that we can prorate this. No, kung this is good for 6 months, magkano dito yung 4 months? Okay? So if you do that, yung 67,824, no, ang 4 months niya ay 45,216. No, 67,824 divided by 6 times 4, that is 45,216. Tapos, January to February 2023, 22,608. Okay? Yung 60,000 divided by 4 times, divided by 6 times 4, edi 40,000, di ba? Yung 7,824 divided by 6 times 4, ito naman yon, 5,216. Therefore, on December 31, 2022, meron kang ganitong journal entry. No, gagawin mo pa rin yung same na entries, yun nga lang, ayusin mo lang yung amounts, no? Kunin mo yung 4 months out of the 6 months here. So, debit ka interest expense, 45,216, credit ka interest payable kasi hindi mo pa ito mapapayaran. Babayaran mo pa ito on February 28. On December 31, you need to accrue the liability. Credit ka ng interest payable. Tapos, yung 4/6 nitong 7824 ay i-credit natin sa discount on bonds payable. Okay? Sa point of view naman ni investor, debit ka ng interest receivable para sa 40,000. Okay? Tapos, ayan, corresponding. Okay? Ito, investment in debt securities mo, 5,216. Credit ka ng interest income na 45,216. Okay? Tapos, what you can do is that on January 1, 2023, you can reverse the journal entry para pagdating ng February 28, no, you can just pick up these amounts and do the journal entry. Okay? Regular na JE natin. Okay? Sabi dito, the December 31 adjusting entry is preferably reversed at the beginning of the next accounting period so that the payment of interest in that period will be recorded in the usual manner. Okay po. So yan yung ano natin ano, concern natin pag yung bond year does not coincide with the reporting period. Kasi we need to accrue. Kasi kailangan nating mag-prepare ng financial statements. Okay. Proceed naman tayo dito sa serial bonds. Actually, for the serial bonds, no, ang concern lang naman natin dito is that periodically we also need to settle the principal. May principal repayments tayo. So pag ganyan, una, kailangan natin kunin yung present value factor for an ordinary annuity. No, for the principal. Kasi yung principal mo ay babayaran mo series of payments. Now, kung dati yung interest mo, yung present value factor ordinary annuity, ngayon kasama na rin si principal. Another thing that you also need to consider in computing for the present value factor kapag ganito is that your interest may be based on the outstanding balance of the bonds. So yung outstanding balance is magkano yung outstanding balance ng iyong bonds payable bago yung principal repayments. Yung for the computation of your interest expense. Kasi halimbawa, sa problem natin dito class, okay? Assume a 5 million 12% bonds that were issued on January 1, 2020. Okay. The principal of the bonds is paid in series of 1 million annually together with any accrued interest on the outstanding bonds each December 31. Starting December 31, 2020. The bonds were issued for 5,241,834, a price that yields 10%. So yung effective interest rate mo dito ay 10%. Meron ka ditong yan? Okay? 5 million tapos versus 5,241, meron kang premium on bonds na ganitong amount. Okay? Plus, pag tinignan nyo po, ganito ang magiging amortization schedule natin. May dagdag ka dito na column for the principal repayment. Kasi kailangan mo itong ibawas. No? Ang mangyayari dyan is, although actually hindi pala ito amortization table. Ito pala yung present value reference mo. Present value computation. Dito, ang ginawa natin is meron kang principal repayment, meron kang annual payment ng interest, tapos kukunin natin yung present value factor, no? Single payment, no? Kasi 1.6, 1.48, 1.36, magkakaiba yung amounts. Or what you can do is 1 million times present value factor ordinary annuity, 10%, 5 periods. Tapos, ito, gamitin mo ito. No? In any case, you will arrive at the same amount, no? 5,241,843. Sorry ha, dito 834, dito 843. Okay? The reason is that ano ba ito? Hindi ko maalala, no? Kung nagkamali lang ako, typo error ako dito, or baka meron tayong rounding of difference because of the present value factor na ginamit natin. Ano? Okay, pero we'll stick with eto. Palitan natin ito. Gawin na lang natin para wala tayong issue. 5,241,843. Okay. No, class, please bear with me. Medyo outdated na yung mga periods, but let's just consider it as it is. No? Now, on January 1, 2023, ito yung carrying amount ng iyong bonds. 5,241,843. Yan din yung matatanggap nating cash. Therefore, meron kang premium on bonds payable. Sa libro ni Investor, debit, investment, credit, cash. Now, ito yung ating amortization schedule. Okay? Take note that when there is an when there is a principal repayment, no, paliit ng paliit hanggang mag-zero. Kasi paunti-unti nating binabawasan yung ating bonds payable. Unlike pag lump sum na from 5,241,000, this should be 5 million kasi one time yung payment. Pero dito, 5 beses nating babayaran. Kaya mag-zero dapat ito sa bandang dulo. Okay? So, halimbawa, on December 31, 2020, tignan po ninyo ito. Magte-debit ka ng bonds payable para sa babayaran mo. No, debit ka ng interest expense. Saan yan? Based on your effective interest na 10%. Okay? I-amortize natin premium on bonds for this amount, then credit ka ng cash, 1,600,000. 1,600,000 being the principal plus based on the nominal interest rate na ilang percent ito. Okay? 12%. Okay? So that is your entry. Tapos in the books of the investor, debit cash, credit interest income, credit investment in debt securities, 1,075,816. Okay? So that's how it is when we are talking about serial bonds. Ayan. Okay. Now, next na ba tayo? Or i-discuss natin ito separately? Yung retirement of bonds. O sige, i-discuss na natin ito class, no? You can pause the video if you want para mapagpahinga natin yung ating mga brain cells. Okay? Mas maganda kasi na i-discuss na natin ito kasi kung i-discuss natin ito separately, maiksi lang naman. Kaso, pag diniscuss ko naman ito together with the bonds with share warrants and convertible bonds, no, ito kasi mga compound financial instrument. So it would be better discuss here para parang two parts na lang yung discussion natin ng bonds payable, no? Yung regular bonds. Okay. Papaano class pag retirement ng bonds? Ito lang class ang tatandaan ninyo for the retirement of bonds. If we retire the bonds on maturity date, wala po tayong i-consider na gain or loss on retirement. Yun nga lang, if you retire the bonds earlier than its maturity date, no, magkano ang retirement price mo? Iko-compare mo sa carrying amount ng financial liability. Okay? Then, there should be a recognition of a gain or loss, no, on early retirement. Okay? So, papaano yon? Let's consider this problem. On January 1, 2023, an entity issued 5-year, 1 million, 15% bonds. Effective interest rate mo 12%. Interest on the bonds is payable semi-annually on June 30 and December 31. Napansin ko sa mga problems natin, puro semi-annual yung payment. So, nahahati tuloy. But in any case, no, whether semi-annual yan or annual yung payment ng interest, ganun lang din naman yung treatment. Yun lang, kailangan nating hatiin yung percentage. Okay? Doblehin yung term pag semi-annual. Okay. Ito dapat, kung January 1, 2023 at inisyu mo 5 taon, mag-expire dapat ito December 31, 2027. Or January 1, 2028. 5 years. Kaso, ni-retire mo October 1, 2026. Which is more than a year before maturity. So pag ganyan, syempre, kailangan natin i-consider as of October 31, 2026, magkano na yung carrying amount. If this is a serial bond being one-time payment yung principal. So magkano yung carrying amount nun? Kung ito class ay, okay, ang issue price natin based on our computation is 1,110,401. It was presented on a premium. No, we are expecting na paliit ng paliit, no? Dapat on October 31, 2026, it is somewhere closer na sa 1 million but not yet. Kasi hindi pa naman mature. Okay. So class, pag gumawa ka ng amortization schedule, ganito yung magiging itsura niyan, yung schedule pala nito, presented for reference, na pakita na yata natin ito previously sa ibang mga tabs. Kasi parang continuation ito ng ating original problem, pero ni-retire lang po natin. Okay. Ni-retire natin ito October 31. Pero ang payment ng interest mo June 30 and December 31. So it is somewhere in between this. As of June 30, ang carrying value, ang carrying amount, amortized cost ng financial liability mo ay 1,040,095. Pero kung December 31, 2026, it should be 1,027,501. Kung ni-retire mo ito October 31, so it should be in between this. Nasa pagitan nito kasi October 31 eh. So 2 months na lang before December 31. So ang tanong, magkano? O di kagaya ng ginawa natin sa accrual, okay, i-accrue natin ito. Kung etong accrual mo ng December 31 ay para sa 6 na buwan, kunin mo dito yung pang-4 na buwan, idagdag mo dito. Tama ba? July, August, September, October. I-amortize mo ng 4 months ito. Ito. Okay? I-amortize mo ito ng 4 months. Nakukuha pa? And then, idagdag natin yung amortization ng premium dito. O, ibawas natin, I mean. So, how do you do that? Etong 62,406, ang 4 months na ito. Yung 75, syempre, 50,000. Yung 12,594, 8,396. So, ang gagawin ko is that, etong 8,396, ibabawas ko ngayon sa 1,040,000. Okay? So, magiging 1,031,699 ang sagot natin. Okay? O, tignan ninyo ito, class. Interest expense. I-accrue lang natin from July 1 hanggang October 31 prior to the retirement. Debit interest expense, debit premium on bonds payable, credit interest payable. Kasi hindi mo pa naman ito babayaran. Okay? Kay investor, ganito yung katapat niyan. Debit interest receivable, credit interest, investment in debt securities, credit interest income. Okay, now, ano nang mangyayari? Na-update na natin at sinabi natin na ito na po ang carrying amount or carrying value ng ating investment ng ating bonds. If you retire it at 102, this is the retirement price class. No, the bond issue price at retirement date 102. So 102% ng 1 million, i-retire natin ito at this amount, 1,020,000. Tapos ang i-retire natin, nagkakahalaga ng 1,031,000. So, ang nilabas mo na pera ay 1,020,000. Ang dinirecognize mo, ang in-extinguish mo na obligation ay 1,031,000. Panalo ka pa. Okay? So in this case, you have to recognize a gain on retirement of bonds of 11,699. So dito, titignan mo, debit bonds payable. Debit premium on bonds payable. This is the unamortized portion. Okay? Unamortized portion ng premium. Debit ka ng interest payable na 50,000. Tapos credit ka ng cash. Pero yung cash mo dito is the 1,020,000 plus the accrued interest of 50,000. Okay? Tapos credit ka ng gain on retirement of funds. Nakuha ba? Tapos, from the point of view of the investor, debit siya ng cash, 1,070,000. Credit siya ng investment in debt securities. Credit siya ng interest receivable. Meron siyang loss on fund return. Nakukuha po. Okay? So, that's how we deal with the retirement of funds. Okay, and there we have it. We are done with part 2 of our discussions on bonds payable. Plus, I know this may be too much to take in one sitting. So you have to pause, you have to take a break para ma-absorb po ninyo lahat ng ating mga discussion. So hanggang sa muli, sa susunod natin na video lecture, pag-uusapan naman natin yung mga compound financial instruments. Thank you. Bye-bye.